This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered medical advice.
The mind is the first thing you have to make up, and then the body is going to follow. Right. Do you want to live? It's truly a life or death decision. And I take it no lighter than that. I decided I wanted to live. I wanted to see my generations to come. And it had to start with me. It had to say, remove yourself from the plate. Take your medicine. Do everything you have to do to make sure those numbers fall where they need to fall.
Welcome to Table Rounds, we're here today. We roll with Running Med Academy, lighting the way. Table Rounds, your voice, your guide. Together with knowledge, we stand side by.
Hey, welcome to Table Rounds. I'm Dr. Princess Dennar, board-certified internist and pediatrician, and I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Darlonda Harris.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Dennar. I'm Dr. Harris. Thanks for having us. I'm also board-certified in internal medicine, pediatrics, as well as board-certified in obesity medicine as well.
Today, we'll be discussing diabetes, how one patient was able to conquer the difficulties and the barriers that comes with treating diabetes and coming out on top.
And today we have with us Tamor Ursin. Welcome. We are grateful to have you because November is Diabetes Awareness Month. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Ms. Tam, tell me a little bit about you. When were you diagnosed? How did it present for the first time with diabetes? Did you have a history of diabetes in your family?
How did you feel? Were you shocked? Were you surprised? Did you kind of expect it? What were your thoughts as you were transitioning to college?
I ended up writing a paper about just the challenges I had with the diabetes. And that's how I came to understanding if I want to live, I needed to control this. Just to go a little further, because that has been quite some time. You're not always on track. You have your ups and downs, just as life has its ups and downs. But the key to it is that you get back on track. You never stop trying. You keep going. You're going to fall off sometime, but you don't stay there. You don't stay in that space. And that's how I've been able to manage throughout this time.
Now, when you were diagnosed and going off to college, were you put on medications by mouth or was it insulin?
I was put on a medication by mouth, metformin.
And back then there was this concept in terms of trying to understand diabetes, right? So there are two forms of diabetes. There's type 1, type 2, and then that intermediate form, right, which was once known as juvenile diabetes. And the idea in the past, and when a young person got diabetes, we used to believe it was always autoimmune, that it was type 1 and automatically put them on insulin because all these antibodies begin to affect the islet cells or cells within the pancreas that helps the production of insulin. And then we found out, no, even young people can get type 2 diabetes where they're still producing insulin, but the effect on insulin on the end organs or end cells isn't as effective as to why their sugars go up. And it seems like that's probably where you fit within that category is when they put you on the metformin. And, going to college, you're just trying to balance college life. And now all of a sudden you have this chronic condition that requires taking medication on a daily basis. And that must have been hard for you.
Yes, it was very hard. Again, I want to say, I feel like I started on an upslope. And that's why I wanted to let everyone that I didn't always stay there. This has been a constant up and down trend. I started up on an upslope. I knew I was going to take control of it. My first year, my first semester, that weight just fell off me. I was working out every day. So much so that the medication I was on was reduced. Okay. Yes. I mean, very good results initially when I found out. But then you get into a state of complacency. And I just want to bring up the good and the bad. Because, you get comfortable, you think you have everything under control, and then just simple things in life hit, right? You don't want to take that. You don't want to take it. You think, I can go a day without taking it. But consistency is key. Consistency is key. And it's getting back on the ball that has really kept me going. I just want to be honest about that and straightforward.
And I heard you say something about the weight does come off. Dr. Harris, you're also an obesity medicine doctor, right? And you see adults as well as children with diabetes who have weight, right? and who are obese. At one time we felt that, and I hear it a lot in the community, well, this is genetic, I'm going to get diabetes, right? And we don't always appreciate the portion that is not genetic in diabetes. It's familial in the sense that we tend to pass on our eating habits to our children. I
Right.
cook the way my mother taught me to cook, and she cooks the way her mother taught her to cook. And
Right.
sometimes we cook with some of those habits that can lead to an increased weight, which leads to metabolic diseases and diabetes. So in your practice, Dr. Harris, can you tell me, like, how are you seeing more kids now at this age getting diabetes because of their weight or anything at all?
Definitely. Even before teenage years, I've had children as young as 8 or 9 come in with signs of insulin resistance, prediabetes, and soon may develop into type 2 diabetes. And it's so important at that point when you see those early signs, when you see the darkening of the neck, when you see the weight issues, it's so important to talk to not so much the kid, also them, but also the family. And that's my biggest take home is it's a community approach. It's a family approach. It's so important because the kids can't buy their own food. The kids can't go to the store. So if the parents are eating a certain way or if the food is in the home, of course it may trickle down into the kids where they're eating it. A lot of times when you have children with type 2 diabetes or young adults with type 2 diabetes, their parents also may have it or their aunts or uncles also may have it. So it's so important to approach it from a just family, community. What can we do? How can we change together? Like, what can we do together? And I know I've talked to Tam many times, and it's easier when you have support. It's
Yes.
easier when you have people. Hey, let's go walking together. Let's make changes and go to different restaurants together and choose better options. It's hard to eat healthy and the person next to you not eating healthy. It's hard to make those decisions. So that's why it is important that you almost let people know, let people in your community, your friends know, hey, I am dealing with this, because if they really love you and care about you, they're going to try to make changes as well to support you and say, hi, what can we do? And I know, Tam, we've talked about it many times and have even been through it over the year. Do you mind sharing some of the complications that you've experienced because of diabetes?
I was feeling pain in my finger, and there were no obvious cuts, no obvious reasons for the pain. And I go to the emergency room, and they're like, well, maybe it's, they were coming up with all kind of things it could have been, but it ended up being a bone infection. And they say you could have gotten it from a paper cut. Well, having diabetes, I know my immune system is not as good as someone normal. And something as simple as a paper cut causing me to be in the hospital almost losing a finger. I mean, something so simple, but it was so massive in my life. And one of those key pivotal moments to let me know you don't have an option to take things easy. You don't have that option to take things easy. You can't slip up because you have to quickly recover. But we do. The honest truth is we do. We are still human, but you cannot stay in that space forever. Get back on track. Stay on track. Have those family members, like you said, and Lord knows I have a very supportive family. But just making sure you're eating the right things. Let's go walk, drinking your water. And water is so critical. I can't even tell you how critical it is to have water in your body. But all of those things help. And I will say even the medications now, if we're looking, more present day, I'm very thankful to have had, I think this is going to be the third A1C that's in that 6 range. That Manjaro is really helping. It's helping me do what I have to do.
That's great. That's great. And speaking of medications, we've come a long way because in the past, a lot of medications for type 2 diabetes, unfortunately, it would cause weight gain. It may
Yes.
help the diabetes, but it will cause weight gain. So that was a side effect that was very unpleasant that caused many people maybe not to adhere to the treatment. But now, in this decade, with the emergence of the GLP-1s and the GLPs, GIPs, just so many, that whole just class of medication has really been life-changing to help control A1Cs as well as help with weight loss and just to really ease the burden of taking diabetic medications. we're really getting away from 3 to 4 insulin shots a day. Who can really do that? That's tough. It's very tough. I don't think I would be able to give myself injections 3 to 4 times a day, every day on track. So now it's just making it easier, where I've seen so many patients get off of so many frequent injections, and it's just been life-changing, and it's really helped patients adhere and make their diabetes more controlled.
I agree with you.
And I will say, if I have to give it a plug, I would say I am so thankful for those Dexcoms and those Libre systems, because those things keep me accountable. And when I look at those numbers on my phone now, you want to keep them there.
Yeah.
You want to keep them in control. And so that has been a major help for me. And, when I go back from where I started from and where I'm at, we didn't have it back then. And I didn't like pricking my finger 4 and 5 times a day. So I just didn't do it.
Right.
But now, just looking at the numbers saying, well, you're at a 120. You're not going to do it to jeopardize that. You're not going to, you're happy. It gives you a sense of, just a sense of pride and happiness, and like you're doing something right, to have those numbers at your fingertips to be able to see them. It wants you to stay in the right place.